There was a time when single-player games were the norm, when you could buy a $60 game that came out finished without a multitude of bundles to generate as much income as possible. And not everyone had to have a bunch of personality skins. There was a vast catalog of Star Wars games that fell into this category. LucasArts games would put out a wide variety of titles that have you play through the movies or add on to the expanded universe. Then everything changed once Disney bought Star Wars from George Lucas. Games were canceled, shows, and the prequel era of Star Wars was put on the back burner. A big blow struck the gaming community in 2013 when it was announced that EA would have an exclusive hold on Star Wars games for the next 10 years. We don't need to dig deep into why EA having an exclusive hold on the Star Wars title would be problematic. But one studio that they shut down really hit home, Pandemic Studios. They gave us two of the most memorable games of the early 2000s, the Star Wars Battlefront series. There was some cautious optimism when EA announced DICE would bring this beloved series back, but hopes fell apart when it was announced that there would be no campaign or galactic conquest. Then for Battlefront 2 there was a huge gambling debacle. With their backs against the wall, they announced that Respawn would make a game with no microtransactions, no loot boxes, and it would be story-based.
What?
Respawn had previously developed the Titanfall series, so what could we expect from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Could EA be trusted on these promises, and would the game be worth it? Now an anticipated sequel is on the way, so what made Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order so great? Development for what ended up being Fallen Order started in 2014 when Stig Asmussen joined Respawn in 2014 as the game's director, and it began as a title that would be unrelated to Star Wars. The combat system grabbed EA's attention as they thought it would work well as a Star Wars game. It was revealed as a Star Wars action-adventure title in 2016, and collaboration began with Lucasfilm for characters and locations. Gordy Hobb and Stephen Barton would compose the soundtrack. They had previously worked on the soundtracks for Star Wars The Old Republic, Battlefront, Titanfall, and Apex Legends. Cal Kestis would be a fan of The Who, a folk metal band that translated the music into a Star Wars language. Fallen Order would be released on November 10th, 2019. I'll be honest, I did not pay much attention to Fallen Order when it was released. I was suckered into buying the first Battlefront, and it was such a boring game. Naturally, I was overly harsh to Fallen Order, thinking it looked like a clunky mess. Over time, I started craving a Star Wars game, and I finally decided to give Fallen Order a shot. And my goodness was I wrong, and couldn't be happier to admit it. The main theme of the game revolves around rebuilding the Jedi Order by finding a holocron that has the locations of Force-sensitive younglings across the galaxy. But the game digs deeper into so much more, like PTSD for Cal and Sayre surviving Order 66, and confronting the ghosts of their past, so they can move forward and grow as people. They would share a mutual sense of pain, and let each other in to grow and move past it. Also, the efficacy of the quest they are on is put into question. The game opens up on Bracca, a world where ships of the Clone Wars are salvaged and Cal is jamming out to The Who. Now, if Cal looks familiar, that's because he is played by Cameron Monaghan. You might remember him from Malcolm in the Middle. Does this mean that Star Wars, Breaking Bad, and Malcolm in the Middle are all somehow connected? That's a topic for another video. Cal Kestis has been hiding on Bracca for the last 5 years following the Purge of the Jedi and keeping his identity a secret to avoid Imperial suspicion. Cal and his friend Prof were tasked with securing hauler clamps to secure the cables. Wait, if the pay wasn't doubled, Cal would have never left Bracca?
The guild will double your pay for this shift.
Come on, Cal. What's your score? That couldn't hurt, huh?
On your way to the top, this part serves as a tutorial for the game's platforming. You climb and scale your way to the top, and the game shows you how beautiful it is, and puts into scale how big Republic Venators are. One quick line of dialogue shows the state of mind Cal has remained in.
I mean, this he's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Correcting Prof shows the pain he harbors, and Cal probably knows it down to the day that the Purge happened. You can feel empathy for Cal, and it's ironic that his work is to repurpose ships for the Empire. Then things go south as Cal reaches out through the Force to save Prof. A recon droid is nearby when Cal does this, and he is struck with fear as he just revealed himself. Cal and Prof make their way home, and on the train ride back, Cal has a vision through the Force. I love that when you turn around, you go from being on the train to a Republic Venator. Cal is confronted by the memory of his master Jaro Tapal, and this serves as symbolism for his reawakening as a Jedi.
Trust only in the Force.
Once Cal wakes up, Imperials search the train, and the Imperial Inquisitors arrive to find the Jedi in hiding. Prof ends up giving his life for Cal.
You really love the boy.
Hello.
He'll be fine. He's off screen. Then you go through a combat tutorial fighting stormtroopers. The banter from the stormtroopers is really fun, and sometimes it gets a little sad once they realize they can't take on a Jedi. There are people doing their jobs too.
Jedi? Stay sharp. They won't get past us. It's a traitor. Blast them. I can take you out, no problem. Did you see that? I knew it would end like this.
Some food for thought in the game's combat. Then you go through a train sequence? Huh. Where have I seen this before? Like, this train scene is very familiar. I did this before, right? This looks familiar. Fallen Order Among Thieves? Anyways, towards the end of the mission, a ship comes by with two of the other game's main characters, Sarah Junda and Grease. They help Cal to escape from the second sister. Now Cal is finally off the garbage planet.
Trash. Yeah, I love trash. Yum, yum, trash.
Hell yeah, I love that little guy.
For people who might be like, what's going on here? Like Cal, Sarah and Grease are here to provide some good old-fashioned exposition, like who you just fought.
An Imperial Inquisitor. She's a Force user hunting Jedi survivors.
Or a holo what?
A holocron. It stores information, but only accessible to Jedi.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen.
Damn, that Obi-Wan cameo kinda made me sad. But seriously, what I love about the exposition and the dialogue is that it is all natural and gives the player the information crucial to the story. Cal was young when he survived the Purge, and Sarah informs him on the Inquisitors. Grease is a non-Force sensitive, so naturally he does not know much about Jedi business.
Jedi business, go back to your drinks.
One really cool thing about Cal for you Star Wars nerds is that he is one of the few Jedi who is able to sense an echo in the Force. It is called psychometry. Very few Jedi have this ability. Quinlan Vos is one other notable Jedi who had this ability. I want to touch on the game's characters quickly. Fallen Order does a great job of making its characters interesting, relatable, and flawed, unlike another Jedi from Disney. Cal is relatable because he faced a lot of adversity at a young age and lost everything and ended up on his own until one day he got thrown into a journey that would make him mature and welcome new people into his life. Plus, Cal is struggling to come to grips with his past, which is why you have to rebuild his damaged skill tree in the Force. Sarah has a mysterious past, being a former Jedi Master who almost fell to the dark side, and sees Cal as a chance for redemption by serving as his new mentor. Grease is more of your average Joe in the galaxy, and had a gambling issue before meeting Sarah. There are also times he serves as a moral compass. The start of their journey takes them to Bogano, and Cal has to make his way to a Zepho vault. For some backstory, the Zepho were an ancient race of Force users that have since disappeared. Sarah's former master, Eno Cordova, studied them. Then you find your favorite droid you didn't know that you needed, BD-1. Cordova left messages hidden in this droid and wanted someone to go on his journey to make sure they could be trusted with the holocron.
You know, I've been alone for a while now. Without any purpose, just hiding. There's no way to live. Not for a Jedi. Or a droid.
Cal has begun to open up, and the first part of his hero's journey will take him to Zepho to find the hidden tombs of the three sages. The main quest of the game is a little questionable. Cordova has a premonition of Order 66 and left a holocron with locations of younglings in the vault. So their plan would be to take a bunch of children from their homes and raise an army of children to fight the Empire in one of the darkest times of the Jedi's history. The question of the efficacy is posed to the player. On paper it sounds like an awful plan having a failed Padawan and a failed Master raise a generation of Jedi. But it does make sense given the history of the Jedi Order. But the main quest does the character building. I relate this story to The Last of Us. The quest you're on is subservient to the character building. You could say it's not about the destination, but the journey that you are on. As you battle your way into the Tomb of the Three Sages, you find that the Empire have made their way here and have interest in the planet. Inside the tomb, Cal has another vision of a training session with Jaro Tapal. I love how these training sequences are interjected in the story. It builds a connection for the player between Jaro and Cal, as well as unlocking new abilities for gameplay. Jaro Tapal was a wise master who trusted in the will of the Force, kind of like Qui-Gon Jinn did.
The obstacles in your path define the path. What stands in the way becomes the way.
The next recording from Cordova informs you that the Zepho had contact with Kashyyyk, and Chieftain Tarful would most likely know about the contact with the Zepho. My first time getting to this part, I thought, they brought him back from Republic Commando, only to realize he was in Revenge of the Sith.
Goodbye, Tarful. Goodbye, Chewbacca.
As you make your way back to the Mantis, you fight an AT-ST. One neat thing, once you defeat the AT-ST, the pilot actually comes out of the walker. Then just look at the confidence this man is radiating after defeating the walker. Some big saber energy. Cal and the NPCs are headed to Kashyyyk.
Then we better get ready for a fight.
You have got to love the confidence. Sarah digs more into her backstory, saying that her Padawan was killed.
From a certain point of view.
Damn Jedi and half-truths. There are different points in the game you can unlock the double-bladed lightsaber. Can we just appreciate that for a moment? Darth Maul really made this the coolest thing ever. Once you get to Kashyyyk, Cal's plan is to hijack an AT-AT. Yes, I said AT-AT. Cal does, so it's canon. The view and scale of being in the thick of the battle is jaw-dropping. It is always amazing to see the Star Wars vehicles put into scale, and the vines from the AT-ATs is a nice touch. Also, so you can climb them. Wait, this is really happening? I gotta pilot an AT-AT and take down Imperial scum? Look, it's Saw. I'm getting to live my Star Wars nerd fantasy. You and Saul are going to team up to free the imprisoned Wookiees and find Tarful. Saul Guerrera has appeared in the animated Clone Wars and Rogue One. He's a freedom fighter looking to liberate Kashyyyk and piss off the Empire. Cal goes about his way and frees the Wookiees. Saul wants you to join his cause, but Cal remains on his mission to find the holocron. Some of the Wookiees and freedom fighters stay in touch with you until they find Tarful. The offer still stands for Cal to join the cause. Sarah has been keeping an eye on Imperial communications, and they are back to searching for artifacts on Zepho. You fight your way back to the tomb of the Zepho and even come across a downed Venator from the Clone Wars. Exploring the Venator is hauntingly beautiful, and it is traumatic for Cal. It's like he's reliving Order 66.
I lived on a ship like this for years. It became my home. We scrapped them on Braca. Every time it felt like picking at the bones of that life. Thanks, BD.
As you make your way through the Imperial excavation site, Cal is confronted by the second sister. She has done her research on Cal, knows everything about him, and his quest. After battling her, BD-1 saves your life, then comes a plot twist. The second sister is Trilla, Sarah's former Padawan. On my first playthrough, I did not see this coming and was completely shocked. This realization puts a major strain on Cal and Sarah's relationship. Relationships with people can be fragile. Everyone has their own life experiences to make them act the way they do. Lying shows a lot. It breaks relationships, ruins trust, and shows selfishness. It can fill the person on the receiving end full of doubt and cause them to question reality. This happens with Cal. They are both in a stressful time, and that is a burden he will have to carry with Sarah. After Cal goes through the vault, unlocking more of Cordova's messages, he is captured by bounty hunters on his way back to the Mantis due to Grease's old gambling debts. Cal and Sarah hash things out a bit. They are both mature enough to put this to the side and focus on the bigger picture and continue with the task at hand.
Later. We have our lead.
They get a transmission from Kashyyyk. They have located Tarful. Now that you're a prey for Trilla and have a bounty on your head, things are going to get chaotic.
Hey, Cal. I almost got you killed. I'm sorry. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? Well, maybe not you. Hey, why don't you cut her some slack? I'm not saying do it for me, but you two are the best thing that ever happened in my life.
After meeting with Tarful, Cal heads up to the top of the origin tree. On your way to the top, you see this giant-ass bird, the Shiro bird. Cal and BD-1 help out the bird, then let's just appreciate the scenery for a moment.
There's still so much the Empire hasn't touched.
Fallen Order really delivers a beautiful, in-depth, next-gen Star Wars experience. Then the Ninth Sister attacks in the most frustrating boss battle since Ogdo Bogdo. Now, we all know how Disney feels about dismemberment, that's why you can't dismember stormtroopers in the game. Oh, I don't know if I should eat those words or not. I just love the look on Cal's face when he defeats the Ninth Sister. It's almost like shock and disbelief that he just beat her, and it shows how far he's come on this journey. But some of the dialogue from the Ninth Sister shows you how awful life under the Empire has been for them.
Just wait till the isolation, torture, mutilation, and your friends! I won't let you touch them! You can't stop the Empire!
Man, if that doesn't make you feel for them. There are people who have lost everything and couldn't come back. Watching yourself turn into something you never wanted to be must be horrifying. Is there anything you can do for someone when they're that far gone? It kinda makes me think of the Deftones song, Change in the House of Flies. When Cal gets back to the Mantis, it's time for an awkward conversation. Cal wants to brag about his latest accomplishment, and damn, grease up some salty food! Like, slow down, bro, I don't want to miss this conversation either, but it's not worth the cholesterol! So far in Cal's development, he went from being a scared Jedi in hiding to a more competent Padawan, and gained a lot more confidence. This next part of the game will break him. Once you go to Dathomir, you find a Night Sister who was told that the Jedi killed all of her sisters. The backstory for this is explained in the animated Clone Wars. Cal approaches Marin, but he seems more ready to fight than talk. Then you find a Wanderer who is definitely not a Sith or suspicious in any way. After an interesting boss battle with a bird, you make your way to the vault. Huh. Training sequences don't start like this.
I heard we're getting new orders soon.
Wait, what do you mean new orders? Oh, Game, don't do this. Please, I'm not ready for this. Just wow. Playing through Order 66 is a powerful experience. It's done even better with Anakin's dark deeds playing. For most of Cal's life, he felt responsible for his master's death. It's easy to put the blame on yourself for a situation that you cannot do much about. The last thing Cal has to remember his master by is his lightsaber. Jaro Tapal gave his life so Cal could survive. The timing for this in the story is perfect. You get a build up from Cal coming into his own, then there's some friction with Cere, then this just breaks him. He fights the manifestation of his guilt and breaks his lightsaber in the process. That is some powerful storytelling. If you weren't in on this, you really are now. What? Malakos is a Sith that betrayed the Night Sister Marin and lied? Bro, I'm dumbfounded, flabbergasted, and quite possibly bamboozled. Ah, gross. She's raising the ball sack. I mean the dead ball bags. I mean she's raising the dead. Cere's there to pick up Cal at his lowest point. There isn't much Cal could have done for Jaro as a youngling, and he will never be free as long as he carries that burden. And man, I have to give credit to the acting. Cameron Monaghan crushes this performance as well as the whole cast.
I saw him. Bastard T'Pol. I saw the day he died. I saw what I did.
And what Cere tells him is perfect. She levels with him. Cal feels pain for not doing enough to save Jaro, and Cere opens up about Trilla being captured by the Inquisitors. Sharing pain brings people closer. When someone sees you at your worst and is able to lift you up, that is a person you want to keep around. Cere doesn't want Cal to repeat her mistakes, and finding the holocron is a second chance for them to do right and carry the memories of those they have lost along the way. Cere tells Cal he needs to rebuild his lightsaber, so they head to Ilum. This is the planet where Kyber crystals are located. These crystals power lightsabers. The Empire is there mining Kyber crystals as well, possibly for a weapon of mass destruction. Absolutely no way of verifying this. Eventually Cal finds a way to the Kyber crystal that calls him. He sees a younger version of himself. These two halves must come together so he can have a future. The crystal breaks because it does not accept Cal. Then BD-1 plays a message from Cordova, with the most important line being, "Failure is not the end. It is a necessary part of the path. Failure is bound to happen and we will all make mistakes. It's what you do next that matters." BD-1's memories will be wiped until he makes a connection with someone that can be trusted. This gives Cal the push he needs to keep going, and he makes the most badass of badass lightsabers, using Jaro's and Cere's respectively. This message from BD-1 gives Cal persistence to keep going, and the Kyber crystal accepts him. Now it's double-edged and can be split in two. Now pick your favorite lightsaber color and get back in the fight. Cal is ready to head back to Dathomir and confront the memory of Jaro Tapal. He is ready to stop hiding from the past and accept what has happened. He will carry the memory of Jaro Tapal and appreciate the lessons he taught him. Confidence in his ability is not what made him a Jedi in the beginning of the game. It is accepting what has happened and moving forward with the past as a part of him. He uses this lesson to make peace with Merrin and talk things out with her. He is level-headed and not looking for a fight. Both of them have lost those close to them and make peace with each other. Then you fight the not-so-obvious Sith. Merrin helps you defeat Terran Malicos, and even becomes part of the crew of the Mantis, and helps you on your quest to find the holocron. Then Merrin says what everyone is thinking.
The children on that list. If you take them from their homes to train as Jedi, won't they be hunted like you?
Cal and Cere deflect the statement because the Empire. They go back to Bogano to retrieve the holocron, and Cal is hit with a vision of what could be. The Empire will hunt them down, they will capture the younglings, and Cal will become an Inquisitor. And the Zepho are low-key creepy, and made the same mistakes as the Jedi.
Dogma blinded us to the path of balance, and gradually we allowed our pride to corrupt us.
Then, BAM! Trilla is here. As you play through the game and level up Cal, you feel more powerful, even cocky. This will be an easy boss battle. Cal even pulls off this slick move to get Trilla off balance. Cal grabs Trilla's lightsaber. Oh, damn. What's happening? I love how Trilla says it's been through hell.
It's been through hell.
Star Wars doesn't have profanity, and it isn't necessarily a profane word, but it is a stronger use of diction, and Cal witnesses her pain and suffering. I love the first-person view in these cutscenes. It makes it feel more personal. You see the abandonment, torture, pain, and suffering. Then she becomes an Inquisitor. She has clear motivation for her fall to the dark side, and this is what makes her a compelling villain. This gives Cal a newfound perspective, and all the animosity between him and Cere dissipates. Okay, that was badass. Cere is back in the game! Then Cal gets knighted, and it is so earned. These two have been through hell and come together so the younglings will be safe from the Empire. Cere knows where they need to head, to Fortress Inquisitorius. They head in through the underwater passage. They will fix that in the future, right? Security's hard. Don't worry, Cere has still got the moves. Damn, she is rocking a blaster and a lightsaber? Now that is dope. What is beautiful here is that this mirrors the scene from Jaro Tapal during Order 66. Tapal went right to left, and Cere is going left to right. After going through the fortress, Cal makes his way to a torture chamber where Trilla is waiting for him. She has no words, she is just ready to fight. It is time for Cal to execute everything he has learned and keep the younglings out of the hands of the Empire. Cal is finally able to defeat Trilla on his own. It's sweet watching Cere reconcile with Trilla. She never stopped caring for her, and they finally got to make some peace. Until... If you played this game, you know what happens next. My brother had no clue how Fallen Order ended, so I'll edit down some of his reaction and let it play.
No. No, the boots. The boots and the breathing. No. Oh, I'm getting chills. Oh, shit.
You have failed me, Inquisitor.
Avenge us! Oh my... Why did Reva live so long in the Obi-Wan show?
Wow, Vader is terrifying. He played no games and was menacing. I wonder how he'll deal with failure in the future. The crew escapes with the holocron, and Cal, being much wiser and more mature, knows what to do. He carries his master's lesson with him and trusts in the will of the Force. The fate of the younglings will be their own. His arc has come full circle. Before this video is concluded, I want to thank you all for watching. I really want to give my brother Cigar City a shout out. I love you, bro, and I couldn't do this without you, and thank you for all your work and support on the channel. Fallen Order. Wow. It is a game I didn't know I needed and that I would love so much. Cal starts off in a rough spot and is able to reclaim his life. Like I mentioned in the Force Unleashed video, he shares many similarities with Starkiller, and I view this game as a spiritual successor to the Force Unleashed series. Yes, I'm a bigger fan of the Force Unleashed, but that does not diminish this game at all. You get a character you can imprint yourself on from your own life experiences, and see his growth and how he overcomes challenges in his life. From the loss of Jaro to Paul, having his trust broken in Sarah, to seeing things through her eyes. Really, Trillos. Fallen Order provides an experience for all Star Wars fans, and I'm excited for Jedi Survivor to see where Cal's journey takes him next. This game has a rich, detailed world and a fun parry-based combat system. It has been compared to Dark Souls, but I've never played those games, so I can't compare it to that. The sound design is incredible. Vader's cameo at the end was perfect and worked naturally in the story. This is a story about not being defined by your past. Never let it hold you back. Go out and experience the world. You never know who you will meet out there and where life will take you. The acting and voice acting is top notch. The game is buggy at times. I played it on the PS4. It can get awkward and clunky, things don't load in properly, and there are some long load times. It isn't much to get past for everything this game has to offer. EA of all companies gave this game a free DLC update in 2020 that added meditation training, Journey Plus, and an Inquisitor costume for Cal along with a red lightsaber crystal. I would have loved to see an expansion where you play as Inquisitor Cal and a more in-depth customization besides changing your ponchos. Yes, I know there's other things. Fallen Order has surpassed 20 million players and has had its fair share of awards and nominations. I'd give this game a 7.5 out of 10. I'm keeping the state it was released in mind, as well as some of the long-lasting technical issues. Plus, fuck you EA for roasting single-player games. Even though I prefer the Force Unleashed storyline, this is still a great game with an amazing story. I wanted to do the conclusion a little quickly since the story analysis took a while. There's so many cool things in this game too, like getting to experience hyperspace travel and everything you can explore in the game's worlds. I love that they brought Dathomir back from the Clone Wars, and we've been reading your guys' comments and we're going to get to work on the Force Unleashed 2 video. Thank you all again for watching and all the support. Peace!